Hello and welcome to another drive-in double feature. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nathan.
And this is a podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into anything, we got a Patreon over at patreon.com/drive-in-double-feature-podcast, where Nathan and I are having some very fun conversation, playing a couple of games, just giving some exclusive content to you patrons out there that we appreciate. But if you don't support us, don't worry, it doesn't affect any regular content. But Nathan, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas. And you know what? Merry Christmas to everybody listening.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. We are glad to have you here. And today we're going to give you the biggest gift that you could possibly give somebody. Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, woo! Lindsay Lohan.
And she has her career has it's a runaway freight train. It hasn't stopped.
It is absolutely nuts, the trajectory of her career from like the beginning to now. Obviously Lindsay Lohan from Freaky Friday, The Parent Trap, like huge child actress.
Probably like one of the most famous women on the planet at one point.
Yeah. I remember being a kid, and I feel like all kids knew who Lindsay Lohan was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, she was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then due to some personal demons and like some family issues, fell into a lot of vices, to say, and didn't have the career that everyone expected her to. But she's still hanging on. She's still doing the best she can. And she's doing it here in Falling for Christmas, directed by Janine Damian.
Yeah. And it is what it is. It's a Christmas tradition here at Drive-In Double Feature that we do trashy Christmas movies, and
nothing's trashier than Hallmark.
It is. Hallmark is, I think we talked about this before, but Hallmark, it's trash. It's trash for moms. That's what it is. It's like really just like overly sentimental, sweet Christmas movies. I don't know. It's a tradition in many homes, I feel like.
It's fast food Christmas movies.
It is. It's what it is.
Not very fulfilling, but it's quick and easy.
Yeah. And this one's actually not a Hallmark movie. This is a Netflix original.
Yes.
Yeah. But
there's still plenty of Christmas that has been barfed all over this movie.
Oh yeah. It fits right in with Hallmark stuff. It's something, all right. You know, ranking it with the last one we talked about, Spirit of Christmas, this is much better than Spirit of Christmas, in my opinion.
You know what? It wasn't bad.
It wasn't. Okay. All right. Yeah, it really, it was fine. If it was like a trashy Christmas movie I'm looking for, I think this one does a good job. Lindsay Lohan is, I'm really happy for her that she is taking a role like this, and that she's actually, I like her in this role, and I'm happy to see her in a movie again after all the trouble she's been through.
Yeah. I mean, can't say the acting's great,
no.
but for the role that it is, she does the job. And
yeah, exactly. I'm not expecting anything amazing acting wise out of these movies.
And this movie is the Christmas version of the movie Overboard.
You are right. Yes, the tried and true classic amnesia story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big spoiled rich girl gets amnesia and gets rescued by a small town guy. And what'd you know? She's starting to fall in love with this guy.
Yeah, and let me tell you, she is so inept at being a person because she has so much money, because she can't even make a bed. Doesn't even know how to make a bed. She's so rich that people put straws from drinks directly into her mouth for her to take one sip of.
Yeah, she's something, all right. I mean, but like, okay, so the big difference between this movie and Overboard, like Overboard, Goldie Hawn's character, she was totally spoiled, like a very nasty person in the very beginning of the movie, just totally just talked down to people and like just, and then so that way when she had amnesia and like, you know, she was having to take care of a household and all this, you know, you're kind of like, yeah, like she's getting her comeuppance. But Lindsay Lohan's character, I mean, she's spoiled, but she's not really a bad person.
Yeah, she's a pretty nice person. I mean, her one moment where she's like kind of bad is when our small town guy spills a drink on her and she freaks out because it's a really expensive thing. But that's not even really that bad. It's not like she's like, I'm going to sue you. He just leaves, you know.
Well, yeah, that's because because that's what happened in Overboard. Like she's like, I'm going to sue you. I'm not paying you any money and blah blah blah. And then this one, it's like, hey, can you just leave? And he's like, okay. Like,
yeah. I think this movie was afraid to take it that far, like to make her so unlikable. I think it kind of works for this movie, though. I'm glad that she wasn't like an awful person. Like, you root for her in the end.
Sure. Yeah. It's definitely not like you said, where she's just like a total like nasty person. She's just kind of like, oh, well, her father was going to give her a position at his hotel, and she was going to be the director of atmosphere, and whatever that means, it's clearly made up. But she's like, I just want to do my own thing, Dad, and I want to be able to stand on my own two legs and everything. But she's still very spoiled. She has an influencer boyfriend named Tad.
Yeah, Tad. Who's British, right? At least he's got an accent. He's
British. I actually, I was kind of hoping. So, all right, well, getting into it is Lindsay Lohan and Tad, like they go up on like a mountain and he proposes to her, but there's a big mountain crash and Lindsay Lohan falls off the mountain and almost dies and falls unconscious. And Tad falls off and he must fend himself in the wilderness. And I actually didn't mind that plot line. I thought it was kind of funny a little bit. But
the Tad stuck in the forest plot line?
Yeah, but I was hoping it would get a lot more zanier. Like he would be like by himself and like trying to fight all the elements and stuff. But this one, he just kind of finds like a nice old man and the old man like just takes care of him.
Yeah, that's what's funny. It's really silly. It's actually, I liked it because it's kind of endearing because it's like, you know, Tad, you know, he's an influencer. He doesn't know nature. He doesn't understand it. Never been outside a day in his life. But this guy likes him no matter what. He hates cell phones. He's a mountain person, but he treats Tad like a human being and is like just really nice. Like Tad can't walk in the snow because he doesn't know how. So he's just like, here's some snow boots, buddy. Let me help you out. You know, it's just like he's a really good person.
Yeah, like Tad shows up at his door and he's like, "Oh, you look really cold. Do you want some coffee?" Like,
yeah, it's like the Christmas spirit, I guess. I don't know. It's funny. My only problem with this plot line is that Tad does the joke from Dumb and Dumber, and I don't know why. The part where he has the newspaper and it says "Man landed on the moon." He's like, you know, he doesn't say it. He says it in the bloopers. Actually, in the bloopers, he does they did it. But
they landed on the moon.
Yeah, but on this, he takes a picture of it and it's like surprised. And I'm like, it's from Dumb and Dumber. Why it doesn't seem like a loving send up. It just seems like a knockoff.
Yeah. And do you think a mountain man would care about
the moon
space exploration?
Yeah, I don't know. I really doubt it. Don't they reference SpaceX in this movie at some point?
They're like, I forget where he's like, oh man, it looks like a regular SpaceX, or it looks like they're SpaceX uniforms or something.
That's right. When he visits the rich people ski resort.
Yeah, and the guy that's the small town character he's named Jake, and he's played by Cord Overstreet, who was on Glee.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like season 2 onwards, but everyone always made fun of like the size of his lips in the show.
You know what? I'm looking at his picture right now. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they call him like trout mouth and
all right.
But anyway, he's just a small town guy, and guess what? he's trying to save his ski lodge before Christmas, and and he goes and tries to talk to Lindsay Lohan's dad, and it's he's like, well, I can't really help you out by investing. He's like, you look like a nice guy. And that's the other thing too, Lindsay Lohan's dad, he's not a bad character either. I mean, he's super rich guy, but he's not like a jerk or anything.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'd love to help you, but I have investors I have to answer to. So
yeah, exactly. It's just gives a full, complete, in any other movie like this, where this is the plot line, he'd be like, no, shut up, you little yokel idiot. You don't know anything.
And like, I'm gonna put you and I'm gonna put your Skull ski resort out of business. So like,
yeah, that's exactly it.
But it's so many important people are dead in this movie too, because Lindsay Lohan's mom is dead.
Yep.
And guess what? The small town guy, his wife just died not that long ago.
I know, and that leaves his daughter motherless. Oh man, I really hope she gets a mother figure by the end of this movie.
Yeah.
It's
like, I wonder if they're gonna get together.
Yeah. There's definitely no tension in this one. You know the plot, the beats, and it does not stray away from it yet, like even remotely. But yeah, I guess Lindsay Lohan takes a little tumble, right? Knocks her head pretty hard. Like it looks really, really tough.
Her skull's cracked open, blood's pouring out.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But our small town guy rolls up in the sled, and with the two side characters, I don't even know their names. And they're like, "Is that a dead body?" Like
they're like, "Don't go near it. No."
Yeah, don't save her. Stay here. Yeah.
Before we get into that,
okay.
So, like you said, how they have a little meeting beforehand where he bumps her with her coffee, and then he doesn't recognize her like throughout the rest of the movie either.
What is that? I think that they could have just cut out the bumping scene then, like, because he's like, oh, I think I know her from somewhere. I don't know. You would remember if you bumped in. You know how scared I'd be if I bumped into a rich person and spilled coffee all over their big, rich, like, outfit? I would remember that person for days. I'd be scared. This guy brushed it off.
I think like she only had on like a pair of sunglasses in that scene, but during the coffee bump. So it's not like she, they go with like the Superman version where it's like, oh, I have a pair of glasses on. Who is that guy or whatever?
Exactly. So, who was that?
But they do. I think it's a little better because in Overboard, like when you think about it in today's sensibility, like how messed up that movie is, where it's like a girl with amnesia. And Kurt Russell comes in and it's like, oh no, we're married. We have had sex and we've kissed and you gave birth to all those kids and like was just gonna make this woman his eternal slave for forever. How long? And that's how it was going to be. But in this one, like he doesn't know who she is, and he's just like, oh, I'm just a nice guy. You can come stay with me at my lodge.
Yeah, no, exactly. Jake is just kind of like, oh, hey, yeah, come with me. I found you. You were hurt, and let's try to figure this out together. I don't think this is standard medical protocol, though, where she has amnesia, just bumped her head, and the doctors are like, oh, yeah, you need to go. You need to get out. Go with Jake.
Yeah, that part was weird because he said, like, the cop was like, well, we don't know who you are, and you don't know who you are. And they're like, well, you can either stay at this hospital or you can go stay with this stranger. And they're like, and the cop's like, don't worry, he's a nice guy. And I'm like,
you know how many times people have been told that?
Yeah. But luckily he is a nice guy. That's one thing about this character. He has zero negative qualities at all.
Yeah. He's one of those movie characters that just cannot do any wrong. He helps people all the time. The whole town loves him. I don't think he's ever said a negative thing and is like, well, things did get a little out of hand at one point. Whenever Lindsay Lohan accidentally created too many bubbles in the washing machine, and he was like, "Oh, I can't believe this happened!" Just a slight outburst, and everybody's like, "How could you do that?"
It's like she's trying her because they're like, oh well, because she's at the hotel, she's at the lodge, and he's like, well, since you're here, you could help me with these chores. And like you said, she can't put on a fitted sheet, which is a little ridiculous, but
just a little.
But she ends up dumping a whole bottle of detergent. And when you say bubbles, it's not like half the house is filled with bubbles. It's like a little bit of bubbles have spilled out of the washer, and it's like it's like a mess that could be cleaned up in about 5 minutes. And he's like, I don't need this right now. These bubbles everywhere.
How dare you? No, I was expecting, because what it is the whole detergent bottle falls into the washing machine. So you'd expect more to happen, because the way it sounds like it's like breaking the inside of the washer. No, it's just like if you made a bubble bath or something, and it just
and your bubble bath, but you caught it early enough to where it only like got your bathroom floor a little wet.
But he regrets it instantly, because he's a good guy.
He's like, I shouldn't have done that. Oh shucks. But
exactly. Oh shucks. Yeah.
And then but then honestly, after that, like this movie wasn't bad, but after where they start like getting closer like that, and then it becomes like super formulaic, where it's just like they go on these Christmas dates, like, oh, guess what, tonight happens to be the big town Christmas festival, and it's really sappy stuff, like, and he's got the daughter, and this daughter is like, has like the perfect like movie kid laugh, like,
like she was bred by like movie producers or something to be just made for Hallmark movies. She's obsessed with Christmas, and she misses her mom, but Lindsay Lohan's making for a good mom at the same time.
So and then they just go on these real casual dates, and like you said, oh, guess what? We're going to have a big fundraiser now for the ski lodge. And
and nobody's showing up to the thing. Well, wait, no, they were stuck behind a snowplow the whole time. People are coming. Oh my God,
And then they do the It's the Wonderful Life bit, where like everyone's like, here, I'm going to give you this large sum of money that I could have helped you out a long time ago, but now I'm just now helping you out.
Just now, because of this, just because you did a fundraiser. Well, it's not even a fundraiser. It's just like a party, right? Because he's like, no, I don't want to do a fundraiser. So it was like a party to try to get money. God, I'm trying to think. There's another great character, the grandma. The grandma is in this. Grandma, a horrible actress, but she's trying her best.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, and I didn't feel that. She was the worst actress.
Oh yeah, she's
horrible. Like, I hate to be mean like that, but it's like, because she doesn't like. Okay, she has like this. She's got a photo album, and she's showing it to Lindsay Lohan. She's like, oh, what's that? And instead of saying like my photo album, she's like, oh, I call it a memory book.
Yeah.
And like, there's another scene too where she's reminiscing about her dead daughter with Lindsay Lohan, and she's like, my daughter, she was so beautiful. And then she looks over at Lindsay Lohan's like, you're beautiful too.
That line, I laughed out loud. I like just broke out. It was so poorly delivered. And there was a scene where, because they get reservations at the end, because they, Lindsay Lohan, she remembers who she was, and she promotes the resort, and she's like, oh, the phone is lighting up like a Christmas tree. It's so lame. It's great stuff. There's another great character in this we haven't talked about yet. Santa is a character in this movie, and I was not expecting that.
He's in it, but he's just he's
barely
barely in it too, and it's just like because they go to like a Christmas tree, and here's another sappy line for you. Like, she's they're making their Christmas wishes, and the little girl, of course, she wishes for a mother, and her grandmother's like, what did you wish for? I can't tell you or it won't come true. And then she asked her grandmother, it's like, what did you wish for? It's like, my wish came true when you were born.
Oh.
So, but yeah, and then Santa, he sees that wish. She's like, and he just gets like a little twinkle in his eye, and then and then he sells Lindsay Lohan a snow globe.
That reminds her of her childhood. I love how Lindsay Lohan remembers memories, because she just kind of like brings it up, like sort of like, yeah, my mom did that too. Oh, my mom, I just remembered it. That's how it slowly comes back.
And there's a scene where she has a flashback. Don't you think they should have gotten Dina Lohan to play her mom?
Dina Lohan?
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan's actual mom, who was in jail and everything.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
They should have just got her, like, Lindsay, time to brush her hair.
Behind bar cells? Like, just our jail cells, like, Lindsay.
But yeah, it's that real cheesy, sappy stuff, and it's she finally gets her memory, and then it's like, oh no, like I gotta go back and take care of my dad's hotel and go marry Tad, and then and that's how the movie ends. She ends up running a hotel empire. Jake's ski lodge goes out, and she ends up marrying Tad. I was surprised.
Jake ends up jumping in a lake and leaving that daughter an orphan. It's horrible. Christmas.
All right.
Fear,
well, anyway, guys, that's it for this. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's one of these movies. It has to end sappy, of course.
Yeah. It's so there's one part that feels kind of tacked on, I guess, where it's she breaks up with Tad, and then he's like, oh, like, what am I gonna do? And then he looks over at the male bellhop. He's like, how about you? And he's like, oh,
okay. Yeah, like, I thought that was really tacked on. It was fine, just came out of left field. Because Jake returns in that scene when he's trying to meet up with Lindsay Lohan to like convince her, like, I love you. And he knocks on the windows like, I love you so much, I don't want you to go. And then Tad rolls down the window, and it's him and the male bellhop, and they say Happy Christmas. So because they're British, they're British.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? Good for them. They found happiness. But
yeah, well, I hope so. In the sequel, I mean, this movie actually, not to get too far ahead of the movie, this movie is actually doing really well for Netflix. So I think all these movies do.
That's literally what people do. Like they're like, give me a Christmas movie, and I don't care what it is, and then they just hit play, and then they just do it while they're wrapping presents or baking cookies or whatever.
Wasn't that a big talk last year that like there were people that like watched hundreds of hours of like the same Christmas movie? It was the Christmas Prince or something, which is also a Netflix movie.
Oh yeah, that was a huge movie too.
Yeah, no, just something about it, because I mean, it is what it is. I've gone to my grandparents' place, and they'll just have Hallmark Christmas movies on. It's just something about Christmas. If it's even in the movie, people are just like, yeah, I have to watch it. It's just the way it is.
I totally get it, though. I mean, I do. I mean, when you're watching a Christmas movie, you really don't want a whole lot of conflict. I mean, like I said, like even in this one, like, and Spirit of Christmas, like the stakes are very, very low.
Yeah. And you know what you're getting with the plot.
Yeah, I mean, you know how the movie's going to end before like when the opening credits go. So it's just, it's kind of one of those where it's like, look, I'm looking to just kind of chill right now. I'm in a Christmassy mood. Just let me play something where I don't have to give it 100% attention, and like while I'm doing something else that's Christmas related.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? For how these movies go, I think this one's one of the better ones I've seen, at least put together pretty well. It's shot pretty well. But no, it's one of the few Christmas movies I've watched this year, and I enjoyed it. It brought a right amount of cheer. There was something about the colors are nice, the snow is nice, the romance is nice. It's cheesy. It is what it is.
For what it is, it does its job. It's fine. It's pretty inoffensive. Not the most exciting movie. I definitely don't think I'm going to add this to my Christmas rotation or anything, but hey, you know what? If you love Christmas movies like this, definitely check this one out. But if you're looking for me personally, I would say no, but
okay. Yeah. No, if for some reason you're like, you're in your 40s and you got your kids and you're somehow stumbled into our podcast and you're looking for a Christmas recommendation, check it out. It's really cool. But if you're somebody who really likes trashy B movies, a lot of the stuff we normally talk about in here, I don't know if it's the right pick for you.
And Mom, if you're listening, yes, I recommend it.
Oh yeah, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, all of them, go check this one out. You'll love it. But I did, spoiler alert, just in case, I don't think anyone could predict this, but Jake and Lindsay Lohan are two main characters. They do end up with each other by the end of the movie. So just wanted to
why'd you give it away?
I'm sorry. I felt like it was my duty just in case they didn't see it.
Oh God. Well, hopefully they'll watch them. I guess let's see if Netflix will survive after that.
Yeah, good question. I guess we'll see. But no, go ahead.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. But I do want to say happy holidays to everybody out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're spending it with us, we appreciate it. It's Thursday, so got a little time before you get your last minute shopping in or whatever you need to do. If you're traveling on the road, this is a great one to listen to on the road.
I think so. You might even
traveling to grandma's house, listening to Drive In Double Feature.
Hey, who knows? And you want to just pop out that phone and pop on Netflix and put that on your dashboard and watch good old Falling for Christmas. Do not advocate for that. That was purely a joke. It was a joke.
Okay, Nathan.
But no, yeah, like you said, I think that does wrap it up for this one.
Yeah, thank you once again for joining us. But I think that does it for our Christmas movies for this year. We are going to go back to our regular scheduled program. Nathan, what are we going to be checking out next time?
All right, Ryan. So on Tuesday, we're going to do something very, very different. We're going to be talking about Life Force, which was actually recommended from my father. So I'm excited to check that one out.
Yeah, definitely love it. Thank you, Pimp, for giving out your recommendation. And we hope to have you guys join us here. But if you have any thoughts, opinions, questions that you'd like to send to us or any recommendations, please email us over at driveindoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at DIDF Pod. And once again, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/driveindoublefeaturepodcast. But until next time.